It's not too hard. There's a good seed company known as the Seed Bank right in town, Baker Street. No, seeds are generally available. There's are still traditional seed companies, like there's a little seed company in, oh, what town are they in? I think they're in Connecticut. A very old seed company. It only sells cheap, open pollinated seeds in both vegetable and flowering kingdom. And they don't have a big fancy color catalog. They have a little tiny paper catalog, all black and white, with nothing but the simplest descriptions. And they only sell those kinds of seeds at very reasonable prices. HART, H-A-R-T, Seed Company. H-A-R-T. And there are many such companies around, but right here in town you have a company that specializes in growing traditional non-hybridized varieties. Now, in hybridization, we really don't have any problem. It's a form of traditional breeding. It just happens to be a little bit more tightly advanced, so we know parent lines back a little bit farther. But let's start with the carrot. You know, the carrot came from the shores of the Mediterranean. And the wild carrot is an inedible, toxic thing. And over hundreds and hundreds of generations of selection, mostly by the female population, the carrot has given up its wildness to embrace a relationship with humanity. And humanity has a responsibility to maintain the carrot and grow the carrot and to reproduce its seeds. And the carrot has turned from a white, woody, inedible, toxic thing to the carrot of nutrition that we have today. And that's all traditional breeding, and all those things are really good. Now, you could go buy a hybridized carrot, and that just means that they've taken different parent lines and strained them down so that when you get the seed of the carrot, it's a F1 hybrid or an F3 hybrid or a triploid hybrid, whatever it is, kind of carrot, and they can put their name on it, and they can patent it, and they can charge you more money for it, and it'll all be uniform. Well, your garden soil isn't uniform, and me, as you guys, somebody back there wanted to grow a home garden. You don't want your carrots to ripen all at one time. You want your broccoli to have a longer harvest. You don't want a patch you plant a dozen cauliflowers. You don't want a hybrid narrow spectrum genetic flow. You want one to ripen now and one to ripen later, and so on and so forth. And those are the true kinds. But a typical F1 hybrid, if you had some desire to grow something that was a little bigger or a better color or something, no problem at all. It's only when you get into actual genetic perversion. Genetic perversion started in the late 50s. And it started with wheat and soybeans, and we'd take a barrel of wheat and soybeans and soak it in diesel fuel or DDT or some sort of toxic substance and kill almost all of them and then plant them out. Then the real soybean is really a plant that needs very good soil to grow in. The soybean of the marketplace today is so toxic that it, up until recently, didn't have any bug problems. Nobody could eat it. Yet we could feed it to ourselves and our cows. No wonder we have soybean toxicities and immunological problems with wheat. Protein, perverted, modified proteins through all sorts of techniques. And it's traditional in any food resource that you have some degree of allergenicity. You know, a traditional number, I believe, on wheat allergenicities is somewhere less than 100 years ago, per 100,000 people were allergic to wheat. Okay, well, now it's actually an explosion of people who are allergic to wheat. Well, of course, they're perverted, non-digestible proteins, and something that's non-digestible is toxic. Makes you sick. Can't eat it. Puffs you up, can't digest it, gives you, I'm not going to go into the medical influences of